Another day is here, and you're ready for it. What to wear? Check. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Check. Planning for what's next and how to save for it? That's where Bank of America can help. For your financial to-dos, Bank of America has experts ready to help get you closer to your goals. Get started at one of our local financial centers or 24/7 in our mobile banking app. Find a location near you at bankofamerica.com/talktous. What would you like the power to do? Mobile banking requires downloading the app and is only available for select devices. Message and data rates may apply. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This podcast is sponsored by Ramp. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/easy. Ramp.com/easy. ramp.com/easy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to your EPL Index Transfer Daily Show on Wednesday the 10th of July. And the transfer window is really ramping up now, and this isn't just another chapter of silly season. This is the real deal. This is the big teams really starting to make their moves for the transfer window. And it's throughout the league as well. There's loads of different deals going on. It's not just the big teams getting involved. The smaller teams in the league are really starting to show their ambition as well. But it's Manchester United who have stole the headlines today. So that's what we're going to be delving into, not just Man United, all the latest transfer news and gossip. For those of you who don't know, my name's Ben Pescod. I'm an EPL Index contributor. And yeah, so let's just delve straight into the transfer news. And like I said, it's Man United who have stole the headlines in the past 24 hours. So we'll start off with them. Obviously, we found out yesterday, Fabrizio Romano confirmed that they have had another bid rejected for Jared Branthwaite by Everton immediately. That was 45 million plus 5 million add-ons. I'm pretty certain Everton still wants £75 million for Branthwaite. To make of that what you will. I'm just going to fire through these because there's that much to go through for Man United especially. It's mental. It's been a crazy 24 hours for Manchester United, but really exciting. So yeah, Branthwaite, 45 million plus 5 million rejected by Everton, 75 million still on that asking price. But then after that, Man United did have some good news. Fabrizio Romano again confirmed that Man United have had a £42 million bid accepted for Lille's Lenny Yoro, the 18-year-old centre-back. But it's not all good news though for Man United. In typical Man United fashion, you've got to take the good with the bad. Fabrizio Romano confirms that the player still wants Real Madrid. That is his priority. And the Spanish side are remaining calm in the situation. But the interesting twist on this is obviously Leo are insisting that Euro takes this Man United offer because it's the strongest offer on the table for Leo at the minute. Real Madrid reportedly only offered around 30 million, so there's a significant gap there for Leo in terms of the income they would generate from this move. Obviously, Liverpool have been linked in the past, but Man United have had an offer accepted. But Romano does also say Real Madrid are considering just waiting until June 2025 when Lenny Yoro's contract at Lille does expire, and then signing them on a free transfer where Yoro can do whatever he pleases at that point. So, and it is important to stress, Real Madrid is Lenny Yoro's preferred destination. That is his priority. He will do everything in his power to get that Real Madrid move. He does not want Man United or Liverpool, even though Liverpool have seemingly dropped out the race, or it's run really quiet in that respect for Liverpool. it doesn't stop there. For incomings for Man United, many of you will be aware of their interest in Joshua Zirkzee. It's something we've been speaking about for days now on EPL Index. And Romano has confirmed that again, says Man United are ready to complete that deal in the next few days. £34 million release clause, as we've mentioned previously. It'll be a 5-year contract to Zirkzee, seeing him through to 2029 at Old Trafford at least. And yeah, the final negotiations with Bologna are currently taking place, and that's just over the structure of that payment. Obviously, it's important to remember Zirkzee is away with the Netherlands national team, where we're in the semi-finals of the Euros. They would play in England tonight in the semi-finals. So if they were to get knocked out at this point, that would surely speed that process up. And if they go through, it'll delay things a little bit further. But you'd expect club confirmation, really, or this deal to go through by the end of this week. And this week is really promising to be the busiest week so far in the transfer window. The transfer deals are really starting to pick up. And that's not it for incomings for Man United. We've still got a couple more stories on incomings for Man United specifically. Interestingly, Fabrizio Romano reposted a tweet from 2 or 3 weeks ago about Man United's interest in Manuel Ugarte, the PSG midfielder.
Nobody knew that healthcare could be so complicated.
Trump was a failure on healthcare.
Hundreds of thousands of Black Americans lost healthcare insurance. That is outrageous.
And if he's president again, he would cancel insurance for millions more of us.
We cannot go back. President Biden and Vice President Harris have lowered healthcare premiums and expanded coverage for Black families. They also capped the price of insulin at $35. Joe Biden is getting the job done for people just like me.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Saying that they are in touch with PSG over the potential signing of Ugarte. So obviously he's away with Uruguay at the minute at the Copa America. So, pretty cryptic from Fabrizio Romano on this one. But there's obviously there's no smoke without fire. There's definitely talks taking place over Man United potentially getting Ugarte. And the final one is Matthijs de Ligt, another one that we've been familiar with. Man United's interest in around £50 million, apparently. Well, Romano reiterates Man United are increasingly confident on the deal. Personal terms almost agreed. It does seem similar to the Joshua Zirkzee deal. They are just negotiating the structure behind that payment of the £50 million roughly to secure De Ligt for next season. So yeah, when you look at them incomings, you've got Branthwaite and Euro, but you'd expect United to only sign one of those. You wouldn't expect them to be spending 130 million on 2 defenders when they've got Lisandro Martinez, for example. Joshua Zirkzee to bolster that forward line. United have also been linked. This is just paper talk. This is nothing concrete. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been a name linked in the past 24 hours. That's a bizarre one. I wouldn't read too much into that at that point, but Zirkzee and then Ugarte to strengthen that midfield, which is desperate, and De Ligt as well. So that's 3 centre-backs to link with incoming Branthwaite, Euro and De Ligt. I don't know how many of those are really wanted to be signing, unless they don't see Martinez as starting worthy, or I don't know, like that's almost 200 million worth of defensive talent they're going after, and a bit accepted for Lenny Euro by Lille. Still pushing for the Branthwaite deal, although I have a feeling they will drop out of the race for Branthwaite at this point with the Euro and De Ligt deals progressing. I don't think they will pay the 75 million asking price for Everton and wanting. And then obviously De Ligt's £50 million roughly. So yeah, I think it'll be De Ligt or Euro or potentially both if they can. But I think Euro will end up going to Real Madrid. But it doesn't end there for Man United. I'm trying to go through these quickly because, I don't want to just talk about one club the whole time, but it has been that busy the past 24 hours for Man United. I'll quickly touch on outgoings. There's a big story breaking in the past 24 hours. Mason Greenwood is off to Marseille by the looks of things. £30 million deal, but a huge 40 or 50% selling clause for Man United in that deal. Romano confirms that was a crucial part of negotiations with clubs. We spoke yesterday about Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Juventus all being interested in Mason Greenwood. It is Marseille. We're joining Roberto De Zerbi at Marseille. 5-year deal until 2029. And Greenwood's not the only one, although that one is more progressed. Jadon Sancho is also expected to leave the club in the next week or two. Juventus are interested. They're leading the race at the moment, and Sancho does want that Juventus move. It is important to stress. So yeah, so just to quickly round up, that's Branthwaite, Euro, Zirkzee, Ugarte, De Ligt, all potential incomers for Man United. all major progression in those deals in the last 24 hours, really. And Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho expected to leave. Now, that's enough of Man United talk. We'll move on to a couple of other teams that have been really busy. Another one of those at the other end of the table, so to speak, a newly promoted side, Ipswich Town, are really making strides in the transfer window. And I love talking about Ipswich Town and teams like that, newly promoted teams, really being ambitious, which they are. Romano confirmed yesterday that Liam Delap, the Man City striker, will be joining Ipswich Town. That's a £15 million deal, fee up front, £5 million in add-ons. Obviously, was that on loan at Hull City last season. Very promising striker, target forward, really handy, big, strong forward. I'll be interested to see how he gets on in the Premier League. I don't think he'd pull up big numbers, big goal scoring numbers, but you never know. It depends how Ipswich are going to plan to play under McKenna. Obviously, we've seen how they play in League One and the Championship, but obviously it's very hard to see them playing the same brand of football in the Premier League. And I just mentioned there that Liam Delap was on loan at Hull City last season. Well, they are closing in on two other permanent Hull City players. They are closing in on a £35 million double swoop for Hull City players, Jaden Philogene and Jacob Greaves. Obviously, Jaden Philogene, we spoke about yesterday. Everton and Crystal Palace linked with him. Obviously, Barcelona were interested in him at one point. But it does look like Philogene and Greaves will be going to Ipswich Town. That is also only a matter of time. £35 million for combined. So that's £50 million worth of money spent by Ipswich Town already. Really ambitious. And it's really good to see a lower team coming into the league and really wanting to lay the marker down. And hopefully it goes well. But the clever thing with these deals for me is these are three players that if they were to go back down, they'd either make the money back on them, especially Philogene and Greaves, or they'd stay and have a really good chance of getting promoted again. These are the type of players that will get you promoted again, or you can recoup the cash, or maybe for even more if they have a good season. You look back at previous seasons where clubs have been relegated but players have stood out. One that springs to mind for me, for some reason, is Ismail Assar for Watford. They never cashed in on him, and I bet they really regretted it because he was never really the same after that season. I think it was about 2020 when Liverpool were linked with him for about £13 million. But yeah, those are the kind of players that can be like gems for the week for these lower league teams. Moving on to Chelsea. Obviously, I always make this joke, we can't have an APL Index Transfer Daily Show without some Chelsea news. Relatively quiet in comparison to the previous days and weeks in the transfer window. Obviously, expect to have 8 signings done already by mid-July. The latest name being linked with a move to Chelsea is Dortmund's Karim Adeyemi, the German forward, supposedly available for around £30 million this summer. He's been linked with the likes of Liverpool before, Man United in the past, I'm pretty sure as well. Hasn't had a great season, and the season just finished, but undoubtedly a talented player and one that Chelsea's reportedly looking at their advance. Versatile, can play out wide, can play down the middle. So yeah, that's an interesting one. It kind of makes sense. 30 million, in today's market isn't loads of money, and it's one of those. It's a fee where if it doesn't go wrong, they could recoup at least most of that cash back if they were to sell him on, just because of his stature when he was a youngster and the promise that he does definitely have. Whether he can cut it in the Premier League will be yet seen. But yeah, that's from one striker being linked to Chelsea to another. Obviously, they were interested in John Duran. That deal fell through. But at West Ham, another Premier League team, West Ham, are looking to really push on with that deal and get John Duran to West Ham this summer, preparing a bid supposedly around 25 to 30 million for the striker. Aston Villa were holding on for around 40 million with Chelsea, but that deal did fall through. West Ham are pushing to sign John Duran from Aston Villa. He is expected to leave Aston Villa still, despite that Chelsea moving Britain down. So this is a move that makes plenty of sense. West Ham looking for a striker without a doubt, and John Duran could be Julian Lopetegui's man. Obviously, secured Max Kilman for 40 million earlier. I think it was actually at the end of last week. Sorry, So they are definitely being ambitious in the transfer window. So yeah, we'll have to see how that one progresses. Staying in London, Arsenal have been really busy this transfer window in terms of gossip. We've got quite a bit to report on for Arsenal. Obviously, we mentioned yesterday that Calafiori, the Bologna defender, is expected to sign this week for a fee around £45 million. That is still the case. That is still just a waiting confirmation. Everything is supposedly fine with that deal that is going through. And the knock-on effect of that one is obviously Arsenal will have to let some players go. Calafiori is obviously going to fit into that left side of defence. So that'll be Jacob Kiwior. The recent reports are suggesting is heading out of Arsenal after just one or two seasons, I think it is, at the club. Was originally signed for £20 million. Apparently he is heading out of the club for around £12 million, which is a pretty poor loss from Arsenal, pretty poor piece of transfer business. Inter Milan are currently leading the race for the defender. So yeah, he is expected to leave in the near future to try and get some cash back into the club and maybe put into other signings. And speaking of other signings, another defensive target for Arsenal reportedly is Ferdi Karioglu. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. The defender being linked with Arsenal, also being linked with Man United, so that's another one to keep an eye on over the next few days. And finishing off with Arsenal's rivals, Spurs, Turkish reports are reporting that they are closing in on £21 million signing for Sebastian Szymanski. Some of you may remember him from earlier on in the Euros, impressed for Poland, the winger, really, really quick, quite good on the ball. Was Poland's main outlet in them go in those games where they were really under pressure. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Spurs do in this window. Obviously linked with Eberechi Eze as well, but reports today suggesting that Man City could be in the race to sign Eze, and they would be willing to trigger Eze's £60 million release clause, which Spurs have been reluctant to do so. But that reportedly all lies on the future of Kevin De Bruyne. So yeah, that's all the transfer business from the past 24 hours, roughly all the main deals. Obviously, there's a few that I haven't been probably picked up on. You know, there's that much going on in the past 24 hours. But anything that hasn't been mentioned, you can go over to aplindex.com and read all the articles. Any piece of transfer news or rumours, you can find it on aplindex.com. Articles every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, on any club in the Premier League, even some foreign clubs. It really is the hub of your transfer news this summer. And obviously you have the EPL Index Transfer Daily Show that me or Dave will be hosting every day with all your latest transfer news. You know, we've been talking there, we haven't even mentioned the likes of Liverpool and Man City. Are we really yet to get their summer kickstart? We still got that to look forward to. And a lot of clubs who are yet to really kickstart their transfer business. But as it stands, Man United and Arsenal are the two main ones to look out for in the next few days. But yeah, keep an eye out for the EPL Index Transfer Daily. You'll get all your news on there. And I will see you tomorrow for the next EPL Index Transfer Daily Show, where we might have some confirmed deals to go through.
Sports Social Podcast Network.